All right, families, thank you for coming. Welcome to Thursday at 4 p.m. I appreciate you joining us tonight on Zoom. We are recording this session. This is a informational meeting for parents and guardians, excuse me. It is regarding our Title I annual meeting as well as our code of conduct for parents. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. Parents and guardians, at the end of the session, once we stop the recording, if you do have some questions, there will be some questions, some time for questions and answers at the end of the presentation. But we're going to go ahead and go through the slide presentation. I will be presenting the annual Title I meeting information. Mr. Gonzalez, our Dean of Students, will be presenting our Code of Conduct for Parents. And let me introduce myself. I am Chandra Thomas, proud principal of Robbins K-8. So we're going to go ahead and get started. So welcome again to our parent and guardian informational meeting. We are the road runners, and one of my favorite statements is that it takes a village for us to do our best with your students, and we thank you for sending your best to us, and we want to give you our best as well. So thank you for being a part of the village and allowing us to be a part of your village. This is a list of all of our additional staff members, faculty members who are support staff. So we have Mr. Gonzalez, our Dean of Students. Ms. Wendy Jones is our curriculum service provider. If you ever have any questions about curriculum or assessments, she is the person that is knowledgeable and will be able to assist you. She also mentors and supports the teachers as well. We have our counselor. Although we are aware that our counselor is leaving us soon, we hope to find a great replacement for our counselor. But the counselor is also a resource for you. We also have Miss Sherry McLean. She is our multi-tiered systems of support facilitator. So when a student may be struggling in reading or writing or math, she will reach out to you or attendance or behavior and create a plan with you to help your child get back on track. And then we have Mrs. Rita Scott, who is our response to intervention teacher. She works with our students specifically in the areas of reading and math to bring up those skills. And then we have our ex-ed teachers. We have Miss Cadetta, Mrs. Carly, Mr. Coate, and then again, our office manager, Ms. Christie, Melendez, our attendance and registrar, Ms. Bridget Villasenor, our language acquisition teacher for English language learners from Ms. Salaya. Ms. Abdul Rahim is one of our language acquisition and culture teachers as well. And then, yes, we have our librarian back. We have Ms. Almeida. And so for those parents, our library services will begin shortly for our students very soon. And she also is responsible for the technology. And then we have Ms. Miriam Mack, who is our gate teacher. So those are additional, outside of your classroom teachers, those are additional support staff that you can absolutely reach out to. Tonight's agenda will include just a quick review of our curriculum, a review of our assessments, how we performed last year with the Arizona State assessments, and some requirements for proficiency, and then looking at academic and family involvement opportunities. And we'll review some of our district and school compact policies. Those will be going out to you shortly. All right, so we are a proud Title I program here. We're home of the Road Runners. And I want to share with you that we did receive this year, even though we're in the midst of some budget cuts, Robbins did receive a total allocation of $118,000 and $189, $118,000, I'll just say it that way, in federal Title I monies. And so I want to share with you what some of those funds were used to support. So the purpose of Title I is to provide support in the areas of specifically reading and math for students that are struggling. We always focus on those students who are right at the cusp, as we call, those students who are right there ready to get to the next level, but might need a little extra push, might need a little extra support in the classroom and a little intervention as well. And so that's where the funds are attributed to. That's where they're allocated is for. And the staff that we use to work with the students are the same staff that I shared with you on the previous slide. It would be our MTSS coordinator. It would be Mrs. Rita Scott, our RTI. And of course, our first resource is our classroom teachers. They're the ones who provide that foundational learning for the students. Okay, so our Title I funds, again, are used for struggling students in the areas of reading and math. We also like to have interactive learning opportunities with our Title I funds. We also support student achievement and high levels with our Title I funds. I do want to share with you the state results from last year. Now, we don't have, well, the year before, I should say, as you know, that last year, 2024, 2025 results have not been released yet. They're embargoed. So we won't get those official results until October-ish. And at that point, we'll be able to know and share with families what our letter grade is. But based on the year before, we did receive a letter grade of a C. We're not common with a C. We're not familiar with a C. Our school traditionally performs at a letter B. So we have some work to do. Our staff is really dedicated to making sure that we look at those gaps of learning and those opportunities where we can provide additional support for our students to increase their learning in specifically reading and math. So we really do believe that we will be a B very soon, sooner than later. And as you know, in the past, we have been an A school. So we're really trying to get back to that level of rigor and support and that level of understanding with our students. So if you see here, this just shows you how those students in each of the grade levels performed. And ELA is the reading and mathematics is math. And so that kind of shows you the percentage of mastery. So when you look at that and you see those percentages, yes, it's on a 100% scale, but it is mastery for those. So we want to make sure that our students are mastering those skills at a higher rate. And this just breaks it down into a more colorful chart for you. It also kind of shows for you what the red is. Red is what we definitely want to move our students away from. That is the minimally proficient. So those students are minimally proficient. They're minimally meeting the proficiency of that particular standard or that particular subject for reading or for math. The yellow are the students who are partially proficient. And then, of course, the green, the students who are proficient, and the blue of students who are highly proficient. They are exceeding the standard. So we definitely want to decrease our red and yellow zones and increase our green and blue. And we can do that with your help. And how do we get there? Right there it says with our parent support. We also have our assessments that we use called DIBELS and Move On When Reading. And you will hear more about that at your parent-teacher conference that you should have received for parents who have students in grades K1, 2, and 3. You should have already received a letter explaining Move On When Reading, which is a state mandated requirement. All right, and then we have iReady, so we'll talk a little bit later on about those particular things. So currently, and for 2024, we were labeled a C. And again, in October of this year, we will receive our letter grade from our performance last year. And so these are based on the percentage of students who have passed, based on this previous slides that I had shared with you. So we have what we call an integrated plan of action. Anytime, every year when we receive our letter grade, our district and our state requires us to put together a action plan. We do share that action plan with parents. Once that action plan is finalized, we will put that on our website. It'll be available for any of our stakeholders to review. If you have questions about that, please don't hesitate to ask me. We will share it again with our site council. And we do have parents that sit on our site council as well. And so that plan really just is like an action plan. What are we going to do to bring our school up, not only from a C, but looking at each student individually? How are we going to help each student bring up their reading, each student bring up those math skills, and how are we going to help the school move forward in each of those areas? And so how we do that is making sure that we have the staffing correct, making sure that we work on schedules and we coordinate schedules of all of our support staff to be able to provide that additional support outside of the teacher to the student to increase their understanding. And then, of course, the most important is parents and families, guardians. We need you all. You are a vital part of how successful our students are and how successful our school is. And so we love to coordinate and we like to collaborate with you all. If there's a need where you need some manipulatives or you need some ideas at home, Ms. Sherry McLean is our MTSS coordinator. She would love to share some ideas with you, provide you with some hands-on activities and manipulatives that you might need to help advance or further the skills that your student might be struggling with. And so eventually, we will be sharing all of those plans with the entire school. Students do know a little bit about the plan. We don't share the whole plan with them, but they understand what our action is. And we actually put that in a poster and we call it the Daily 8. And so I will put that also on the website and share with you what it is that we're committed to, that we're doing daily to ensure the success of all students. Okay, and then the integration plan, it also will go over some of the specifics that we are doing. So specifically, we are ensuring that students have additional 45 minutes per week per subject. And those two subjects are reading and math, making sure through either iReady, you guys have heard of iReady, we're right in the middle of iReady diagnostics. It's a super important diagnostic that helps us understand where students are and to determine what our next steps are instructional wise to help your child. So please make sure they take the iReady diagnostic serious because it will give us a better insight to what their needs are and what their strengths are. And so we do additional 45 minutes per week for that. We also do level up. That is for grades third through fifth. We do 52 minutes a day where they're with Mrs. Rita Scott, learning and working on reading and math. And then again, 120 minutes weekly or excuse me, 52 minutes daily for our middle school and 120 minutes weekly for our third through fifth grade. So we want to make sure that our students are being successful and they have the time, the opportunity within the school day to enjoy, not enjoy, but to work and advance their reading and math. We do have reading tutors and math tutors. Hopefully they'll be coming soon. Currently, we're not yet ready to start. We're waiting on the district to give us the funding for that. That typically comes around January. In preparation for the state assessment. So we do have teachers who want to tutor, but right now we're holding off on that and waiting for the funding. But that doesn't mean your teachers are not tutoring and working with the students in class while we have them here. Other action steps that we have, our school is a school, Avid school, school-wide K-8. Avid is all about rigor, and I hope that you get an opportunity to come and visit us when we have our Avid school, Avid night, and we feature that. We also have supplemental materials. One of them is Simple Solutions that has proven to be beneficial for all of our students. And so we've increased, not only are we doing it in math, we are now doing it in reading school-wide. And so we believe we will see great gains that the students will make individually and then as a grade level in those particular areas. And then again, we have our MTSS coordinator and additional materials that we provide to students to support their reading and their math skills. And so the next step here is our academic family engagement. It really depends on parents. We really want to promote parents coming in. PTO has reached out to you all. If you were able to come to the back to school night, you probably heard that we are looking for I think it was called a parent leader for each of the classrooms so that we could coordinate support for the teacher. And so we really want to invite parents to come back into the classroom, invite parents to come back into the school and really help us with students who might need a partner to read a book with, might need someone to do some hands-on work with when it comes to math. And so we invite you to be that volunteer. Just let me know or let your classroom teacher know if you're willing to support us in that way. There's lots of ways to get involved at our school. I will be sending home the district parent involvement policy, our school parent involvement policy, our Title I parent compact, and then information about the TUSD family centers. At parent teacher conference, the parents will be giving you a paper to sign that just says your commitment and our commitment as we support your child in their academic growth. How will parents know services are available and what services are available at our school? We will send home a monthly newsletter. If you have not signed up for Parent Square, please make sure to sign up for Parent Square. That's how we communicate as a district to our parents, and that's how we communicate as a school to our parents and guardians. Also, if you have not signed up for Class Dojo with your teacher, the teachers will send out reminders and FYI informational things. Please make sure to sign up for Class Dojo as well. And of course, if you have not signed up or got your account ready for student view or parent view. If you don't remember your password or your code word, or you don't know how to log on or sign in, please give Christy Melendez or Bridget Villasenor, the ladies in the front office, give them a call. They will help you get your account active. That will show you what grades your students are receiving, what assignments might be missing. It'll also serve as a way to communicate to the teacher and also serve as a way to see what your absences and attendance looks like. All right, you have the right to request qualifications of your child's teacher to see that they are highly certified and qualified. And so within 4 weeks, if your child's teacher is working on their educational certification, then you will receive a letter. And I do know that we will be sending a letter home to a few teachers, a few classes. We have a couple of teachers who are degreed, but they are working currently on their educational post-bac or degree. And so you will be receiving that letter. If you have questions when you receive receive that, excuse me, when we receive that letter, please let me know, and we'll be happy to answer anything that you have a question about. But do know that these teachers are highly qualified. They have to qualify in order to be a teacher and to be into the program where they can advance their understanding about teaching. Our parent-teacher conferences are coming up. They're very soon here. So we have the 17th, the 18th, and the 19th. Please remember that school is dismissed on those days at 11:45 for all students, kinder through 8th grade. Also, pre-K, I should say, through 8th grade. Also, the buses come right at 11:45, and so the students will be on the bus within 10 minutes of dismissal. Our progress reports will come out for middle school the week after parent-teacher conferences, but you'll be able to see on September 19th the progress report for middle school. Elementary, you will not see a progress report. You will be able to get a progress report at the parent-teacher conferences. But middle school, 6th through 8th, you will see what grades your student currently has on Parent View. And again, if you don't have your Parent View account, please give us a call at the front office. We'll be having some updates on the School Integrated Action Plan, the IAP, and the Parent Policy and Compact, and we'll be posting that information to the website and also sending that out to you. At one point, we will make sure to send a class dojo so you know when that is hitting your email or your mailbox. For more information about Title I or information about the school, I'm Chandra Thomas, principal. Please don't hesitate to give me a call or send me an email. My door is always open unless I'm with another parent or with a student. But please stop by anytime that you'd like. Give a call ahead of time if you'd like, and I'm open to meeting with parents as well as our Dean of Students and other staff. At this time, I am going to pass it over to Mr. Gonzalez, our Dean of Students.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon, everybody. I hope you all can hear me. My portion is on, of course. That's right there, Student Code of Conduct and the revisions to the Code of Conduct. So we're just going to go ahead. Next slide, please. Thank you. The Code of Conduct is exactly that, a guide that outlines behaviors, expectations, rights, responsibilities of everybody on campus, students and staff, custodial staff, certified, classified. As we go through this, when and where does the Code of Conduct take place? Anytime your student is involved with something that has to do with Robins, a field trip, TUSD field trip, any type of activity on campus, any type of activity after school, before school, and the very bottom one that says, the middle one that says red, on or off campus actions that result in something that could be brought to campus. So if your students are doing something they shouldn't be doing and they bring it on campus the next day, that is enforced through the Code of Conduct. Your middle schoolers have received a condensed version of it. You probably can't see it because it's all blurred out, but they have a copy of this that I want them to read through with you. And then you have the opportunity to sign it and ask any questions, middle school parents. Inside the Code of Conduct, it talks about restorative practices, and that's when you get groups of kids together who are having issues that they can't solve on their own. So myself will have what we call restorative circle with the kids. We might have our MTSS person, Ms. McLean, join us in that restorative circle to help see both sides or 3 sides or 5 sides of a discussion. Our counselor is also involved with those restorative practices as well. Sometimes students and teachers have an issue, or a student and a certified person. And so we also have circles with that, so we can all form a better understanding of how to make Robins work for everybody. PBIS is huge, and I like to just sit there and toot our own horn that the district and the state is now looking at our school as an exemplar PBIS program, which stands for Positive Behaviors, Interventions, and Supports, and is a way to bring positive nature into the classroom, positive actions onto campus. We use it K through 8 for kinders through 5th grade. It's in several varieties of way, including the Roadrunner Rocks, which is a purple card your kids might bring home for you. For doing what we call the 3 B's, being responsible, being respectful, and being safe in the classroom or in the hallways. They also might earn what we call big bucks at lunchtime, which gives them added fun, some 15-minute break from a teacher. We give responsible snacks as a reward for a PBIS in kinder through 5. And then we have an in-school store with things that your students can purchase for middle schoolers as they earn PBIS points. And all these are earned because they are doing what we expect our students to do on campus. The code of conduct is also what we call due process. We have to be able to tell you what your son or daughter did, what your student did, and how we're going to work on that process here at school. So short-term suspensions are just that. They're usually 1 or 2 days in school, sometimes 1 or 2 days out of school, depending on the level of the code of conduct. And you'll see at the end of the slideshow where that dictates in the code of conduct and how we're going to follow through on the consequences of the actions of the student. You are allowed to appeal. Anytime your son or daughter, your student gets in trouble, there's a consequence attached to it. You're allowed to appeal. It's laid out in the code of conduct. And we want you to appeal if you feel like this is absolutely an egregious action on the school's part. Most of the time, a 1 or 2 day suspension is going to happen long before the appeal process completes. So please work with myself and Ms. Thomas on why this happened, and we can see to it that we mediate somewhere in between before we have to go to an appeal process. But we have to give you due process and let you know what's going on. Long-term suspensions are something for level 4s and level 5s. An egregious action that could happen and cause harm to anybody or anything on campus. Please look through what a level 4 and level 5 is in the code of conduct. There is long-term hearings. So if it's going to be longer than 10 days, we will have a long-term hearing set up with a mediator, and they'll hear both sides, very factually based. No bias should be brought in by the school, and hopefully no bias is brought in by the student who is receiving the consequence. And we mediate to see where we're going to be and how this is going to last, how long the suspension will last. Always, if your student has or you speak a different language, you have the right to have an interpreter available at all times. Here we discuss the suspensions and decisions and the appeal process. You're always allowed to appeal anything that happens. It does take time, like I said. Once they have an appeal process set, sometimes the suspensions last longer than the appeal process. So please work with us. Let us understand where you are before you feel you need to appeal it. We're not going to say don't appeal. Please appeal if you think you need to. This slide is very crucial. Only the school administrator can issue a suspension. So when I have your scholar in my office, I am communicating with Ms. Thomas because she is the one who ultimately will give the yes or no on a suspension. Look here with level 4s. Please understand you have 48 hours of hearing being told to. So we have to inform you within 2 days that there's going to be a hearing, that your son or daughter has done something so egregious that we're going to have to set up a hearing. Again, the appeal process. We do have a dress code here at Robbins. We're not a uniform school. Some parents might think that's good, some may not, but we do have a dress code, and we expect all our scholars to be dressed in proper attire. Please do not have your students wear anything that would be deemed inappropriate for someone that's 10 years old. So just look at them before they leave. Sometimes they'll stuff a shirt in a backpack, right? And we know. We do have spirit days, and so we'll outline what that looks like for spirit days. And so they might be able to dress a little crazy, wear a crazy hat, wear crazy hair, wear crazy clothes. But please make sure you understand where those are coming from. These are all the revisions to the code of conduct. And as I recognize, I did not post my link to the code of conduct in the chat. If you want to get a copy of it, copy and paste that link. Tardy and truancies are basically still level 1. Truancy is a level 2. That's when your son or daughter just ditches class, right? And they're nowhere to be found on campus. Robbins is a very small campus. That hasn't happened in the year and a half I've been here. So we're very good. We have kids that understand what it looks like to be in class. Defiance and disrespect. Those are actions that are taken amongst each other when they're just being rude and mean to each other. They start off thinking they're funny, then all of a sudden they're using language that they shouldn't be using. Bullying can be a lot of name calling directed at one person by one other person or a group of people. So please understand that. Defiance toward authority. The district does not mess around with this. Your son or daughter, when they're being disrespectful to a point where a teacher is being threatened with very, I don't want bad language, okay. They're using words they shouldn't be using toward an adult. That's when disrespect and defiance is gonna happen. A kid just saying no is going to be hopefully be redirected by the teacher. But a blatant defiance, no, I'm not gonna do that, stomping feet, and that's gonna take it to a whole nother level. Alcohol and tobacco sharing, we're at level 5. High levels, they've lowered it down to level 4, something more manageable that we can work with at the site level. Dangerous items. We have kids that bring things to school that they shouldn't. Maybe it's a brother or sisters, maybe it's something they found lying around the house. Please make sure that if it's questionable, check your son or daughter's backpack, especially for show and tell. So tardies are just being late to class. We have a 2-minute passing window. Our middle school is stuffed inside one building. There's no reason for your son or daughter to be tardy. Please talk to your teachers if your kids are being tardy. Again, truancy, just they're not anywhere to be found. Head coverings. It's like speeding. And you can do 80, 85 on the freeway and that's okay. I think it's 75 outside the city limits, but in the city limits, it's 65 and the city cops will get you at 65. So we're allowed to modify our head covering as it appears to us. We don't allow kids to wear their hats in the classroom. They can still wear them outside in the sun, during recess, at lunchtime, but inside the classrooms, we're asking that your sons or daughters take their hats and hoodies off. It's just a safety measure and it goes way back when, not even long before I was a student, you weren't allowed to wear hats in the classrooms. It's a respect thing. Okay. And we have the right to ask for them to take them off. Our cell phone policy, which is very, very reflective of what the district and the state of Arizona law that was passed. Notice it's a level 2 offense to begin with. However, constant use of a cell phone or constant use of earbuds and being asked to take them out, put them away, that's going to show level of defiance and disrespect that we could, if we need to, raise that to a level 3. And then we're going to start looking at consequences of in-school suspensions or in-school interventions. So please, 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 we know you want your child to have contact with you, especially in emergency situations. Every phone in the classroom works. The front office phone works. Please have your son or daughter use an office phone or a classroom phone before they use their own phone. And this outlines all the levels for the elementary school. Level 1, you'll notice there are 5 offenses. Level 2, the 5th offense. Level 3, the 5th offense. Most of our students at Robbins, and I'm knocking on my wooden desk, never go past level 3, offense number 3. Our kids understand you're doing a great job as parents. Let's just make sure that we always, always, always focus on what it takes to be the best student you could be at Robbins. And that's what we're looking for all the time. Middle schoolers, well, they're middle schoolers, they're growing up, they have a little bit more influences in their lives. They might have friends that just left here from 8th grade to go to high school, freshmen in high school. They might have that little influence. They might have brothers and sisters that are a little bit older and do things that we don't want middle schoolers doing. So please talk with your middle schoolers about what it looks like to be a good student on campus. Again, levels 1 through 5, offenses 1 through 4, level 4 and level 5 automatically go to hearing officers. 11 to 30 days could be a consequence for level 4. A level 5 could be anywhere to 181 days plus, which is 1 school year. It's not a calendar year, it's a school year. So level 5s are egregious actions. I've never had to deal with any of those. At Robbins, the most I've ever had has been a level 3. If you have any questions or comments, please let us know after we're done recording. I have posted the link to the code of conduct in the chat. Thank you all very much.
Okay, thank you all. Again, thank you for joining us today. On the screen, you will see a beautiful picture of our school with a rainbow that I captured. It was just gorgeous last year. But again, I'm Principal Chandra Thomas, and that was Dean of Students, Mr. John Gonzalez. On your screen, you'll see some other support staff that you can reach out to. Please take a moment to copy those names down. And at this time, I'm going to go ahead and end the presentation. And I'm gonna end the recording, and if you have any parents that are on the line that have questions for me, just give me a minute to end the recording, and then we will be able to answer any questions you may have. Again, thank you for joining us.